The night's guest. I was not afraid of anything, communicated with everyone calmly. But after that moment, I slowly went crazy. I lived then in the village of Ivanovka, walking with friends, going to clubs. How else can you describe the life of a country boy? My mother and little sister lived with me at that time. I often had to be her babysitter. I loved my sister very much. She was very small at the time, but she was obedient. My mother didn't like her. She was always beating her. I took care of my sister alone. One day my mother decided to go to another suitor, so my sister and I were left at home all alone. I was glad that I would look after my sister again. We had fun all day long. I taught her everything I knew, and she listened with interest. The day was coming to an end. I fed my sister and took her for a bath, and I went to make the bed and prepare a storybook. While I was making the bed, someone knocked on the door. Who needs to knock on the door at this late hour? I thought then. Thank God the door was not made of wood but of iron. I quietly went to the door and looked through the peephole. Nobody. The gate was closed. I calmly went to get my sister out of the bathroom. She was washing her head and laughing very loudly. It was a capital mistake. In the kitchen something rumbled, and I heard the same laughter as my sister, but male and strange. I quickly reacted and closed my sister's mouth and quietly locked her in the bathroom and told her to sit quietly and not do anything. At the back of the bathroom was Grandpa's room. I went in there, took my hunting rifle and a flashlight and headed for the thief like I thought at the time. I shined the flashlight down the hallway. Something flashed ahead. A vase on a shelf fell and shattered. The guest ran into my sister's room. I realized that he was not looking for valuables but for something else. I turned off the flashlight, getting used to the darkness. I took the gun and slowly walked into the room. There was a silhouette in front of the large window. I stood up and pointed the gun directly at him and said loudly, "What do you want?" A thin screech was heard in response. My ears were drowned out. I fell and began to feel wild pain. My sister started screaming in fear. The silhouette started walking toward the bathroom. He just started to walk past me, but I couldn't help myself and took a shot. He started yelling like savages at the whole house. Then he turned to me and picked me up with one hand and began to strangle me violently. I pretended that I was already dead. He believed it and threw me like a rag on the floor. I looked around. The gun was lying next to me. There was only one shot, so I took it and crawled to my sister. The guest did not fully understand where the bath was. I got up and took the icon from the shelf and climbed into the bathroom. My sister was lying in tears. I calmed her down, but I knew it would be impossible to survive. Then the door opened with a slight movement and the guest entered. I pointed the gun directly at his head, but again screeching. But there was no pain. He saw an icon on the sink and broke it. I fell down again. He went to his sister, turned on the water. It lasted about 3 minutes. The water gathered and he began to drown my sister. In the end, he was strangling a non-living body. I understood what I had done. I stood up with the last of my strength and shot him in the head. Then I woke up in the hospital. My mother was standing next to me and thanked me with a laugh. I clung to her with my hands and said, "It's all you." Immediately my mother was taken to the corridor. I sat in the ward for a month. After I was released, I went to the police. I cried. I lost my last loved one. The police also said that the sister would be buried. The killer was also found in the bathroom. And now a month has passed and I feel bad. I don't know what to do next. I live in this house. My mother walks around all day with a smile, and at night I dream of the day when my sister was killed.